Hello and welcome everybody to my new channel Shiv Simulation. Today's video is going to be a takeoff tutorial on the A2A Simulations Cessna 172 trainer aircraft. All the add-ons that I use in this video are going to be in the description down below, so scenery, aircraft, all that stuff will all be in the description. So if you guys are interested, make sure you check that out. So we're sitting today at Toronto Pearson International Airport, holding short of runway 15 left on taxiway Juliet. Be aware that I will be using this airport today as an uncontrolled airport. However, obviously in real life this is a controlled airport. So with that being said, let's get right into the tutorial. So we're going to start off with the before takeoff checklist. I actually have a real Cessna 172 checklist that I use when I go flying in real life. However, if you don't have one of those, you can easily just print one off from the internet and use that, and it'll work just as fine. So the before takeoff checklist is as follows. Engine instruments in the green. So we're looking at these instruments right over here and making sure those are all indicating in the green. Trim set for takeoff. So that is, we're making sure this white line is meeting this white arrow right over here. Avionics and nav aids set, so make sure all this is set up the way you want it. Fuel quantity sufficient for the flight, so we're looking at the fuel quantity over here, making sure that's everything that we need for the flight today. Fuel selector on both, so making sure we're running fuel off both tanks. Doors and windows closed and secured, so make sure your door and window is secure and also your passenger's door and window is secure. Seat backs fully up, so make sure your seat is fully up and any other passengers you have, seats are fully up. Seat belts are secure. Once again, your seatbelt's secure and your passenger seatbelts are secure. Carb heat is off. Primer is in and locked. Well, carb heat off and primer are both for the Cessna 172P models, and we're running the Cessna 172R model, so that's not for us. Master check on, so that's right here. I'll give you a better view there. That's right there. Master check on. Magnetos check on both, so those are on the on both switch. Quadrant friction set, so that would be the throttle friction, which is how you want it, not too tight so you can't grab it in case of an emergency and pull it back, or not too loose that it can just easily be nudged. Takeoff briefing, so basically my briefing would consist of the speeds that we're going to be using today. So VR, rotate speed, will be 55, and our climb speed will be the VY best rate, which will be 79. Of course there's a lot more to that, but I just said the very basics for what I need to know. And brakes release. Next, we're going to be going off to the at runway checklist. So the at runway checklist is as follows. Controls, free and correct. So elevator full up, elevator full down, ailerons full left, ailerons full right, rudder full left, rudder full right. Now, one thing that I do have to tell you guys that I did not do, mainly because of the camera angle does not really allow for it that well, but you do always have to check to make sure that everything is working properly with the flight controls and that everything is moving the way it should and nothing is out of order. So controls free and correct. Flaps set for takeoff. Flaps are down here. I'm not going to be using any flaps for this takeoff. Flight instruments set, so everything is set up for airport elevation, proper heading, all that. Lights as required, So it seems that we have all the lights on that we need. I'm just going to throw on the landing light. Mixture is full rich, so right down here, make sure the mixture is fully rich. Takeoff, clearance, and departure call. So that is the call that we would make to let everybody know that we're entering the runway, ready to depart. So at an uncontrolled airport, that would sound something like this. Toronto traffic, Golf, Foxtrot, Mike, Oscar is lining up runway 15 left for circuit, Toronto. That's basically how a call would sound. Time noted. So the time would be the hub's time over here if you're going to be building by hours, and you will need to be writing down the time so that you can keep time of your hours and to keep track of the aircraft's hours. And transponder would be set to altitude, so over here set that to altitude. And then next would be the takeoff checklist, so we can go ahead and move on to the runway now. So the takeoff checklist, brakes are set, heading indicator set it for the runway heading. So now you're not relying off of the magnetic compass up here. You'll be setting it for the runway heading. So runway heading for this runway, the actual heading is 147. I know that is the runway heading for runway 15 left at Toronto Pearson. But make sure that it is around 150 since the runway is runway 15. So heading indicator, brakes release, throttle full. So this will be advanced throttle to full. Announce airspeed alive once you see the airspeed is coming alive. And then also announce engine instruments in the green. So that's the position right over there. We're going to be rotating at 55 knots. So which is about now. Now that we've rotated at 55 knots and we're in the air, we're going to go on with the after takeoff checklist, which is memorized. So we're climbing at our VY speed, which is 79. So pitch the nose down a little bit there. So we're climbing at approximately 79 knots. So after takeoff checklist, memorized. Engine instruments in the green. So once again, those same engine instruments are in the green section. Throttle is full. Lights are off. And flaps are up and 0. Now once you're done this, you would typically make your call to turn crosswind or depart the circuit. However, we're not going to be doing that today. This is just a tutorial on the takeoff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you guys want to see me do more of this stuff, I do plan on doing a lot of others, such as the landing tutorial, stall recovery, spin recovery, spiral recovery, all that stuff I will be planning to do in the future. So if you guys like this, please like the video, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.